The other thing is, one of the person has messaged me asking what's the body weight loss in Sapna's case. So despite Sapna losing 5.6 inches in the waist, she has lost about 9 kgs.
That's incredible. So he's lost 24 kgs. His testosterone levels were 185.
Okay.
And they have gone up to 312. So it's a significant increase of almost 70-80%.
Significant change.
All right, hey guys, welcome back to Train with JC and Bala. This is the last episode and final episode, and it's going to be slightly longer one because there's so much to discuss. Do you want to talk about Sapna first?
Before anything, I would like to ask about this. Who hit you, Coco? I'm sure everyone is going to ask you in the comments, so I might as well ask you here so that everyone knows.
So it's sparring basically. I do boxing sparring, and Deepak actually gifted me a new set of gloves. And what happens is, in the new set of gloves, you have the thumb is usually tighter. So I was just trying to change my guard, and the punch hit, and it was my own punch. So it just went from like this to this. So it's my own gloves. Happens.
मेरे को लगा सुबह उठे नहीं तो कोको ने थोड़ा काट लिया आपको.
I mean, Sugar could have done that. He has was, but not Coco. So yeah, let's get back to the results. Do you want to talk about Sapna first?
Final day. So we took the measurement today morning, and it is exactly 29.0.
What's so 29.0?
In the waist.
In the waist. And she started with?
34.6.
So that's a total inch loss of?
5.6 inches.
5.6. Yes. Crazy. And the target was 6.
The target was 6, but 5.6. It's crazy. But she has visible ab lines and everything. So every day in the gym, about 20% of that gym time is dedicated to admiring her body. I know she's going to hate me after saying this, but this is something which I've been observing.
But everybody does that. Like,
yeah, but not to that extent. But choti. Yeah, she's happy, and a lot of visible changes. We're going to put a lot of photos here. But one of the things I've also kept observing is every week you talk about blood parameters of Deepak, and it has. Obviously, we've seen the results, but I also want to talk about how her blood parameters has changed. Her lipid profile was very bad. We're going to put some of the numbers here, right? So right from her total cholesterol, right from her triglycerides, HDL, and even VLDL. These are very, very bad when she started, and there's been a great improvement. Significant improvement.
Was out of range, and now everything is in range.
Yes, and her triglycerides were 300 plus. Now it is less than 70.
Wow.
Significant changes there. There's been improvement in HbA1c, her vitamin D, vitamin B12, which are easy fixes. But significant improvement there as well, and visible changes. Oh my God, I have to say this. Crazy transformation happening right in front of my eyes. I know it sounds like, okay, I'm talking so much about my own client, but everyone says that in the gym. Everyone.
I think it's also because we were doing it live.
Live, yes.
So there was pressure of, like making the transformation watch-worthy.
Watch-worthy, yeah.
I mean, obviously we understand the rate of fat loss and weight loss and everything, but then if it was just like a mediocre kind of a transformation, people wouldn't watch, right? So,
yeah, that is something which is true. I just increased the speed by another 30% or so.
But in a controlled manner. This is the first time you were also personally in-person training somebody. So that also makes a huge difference.
Yes, and it was completely monitored training-wise. But the kind of strength gains we have seen right from the beginning till now in her lifts is crazy. Like, the first time she did a stiff leg deadlift, I was teaching the technique. She was holding 15 kg dumbbells. Now in the last 4 weeks, I'm not even there, and she's just picking 35 kg dumbbells and doing stiff leg deadlift for 12 reps. I don't know what reps. And
she's not that huge. Okay, 35 kgs is crazy. Like, that's a big weight.
Pair of 35 kgs, so total 70 kgs.
So 35 kgs is like super heavy.
And I just told her one thing: the day I have as big calves as you, I'll stop doing any calf raises. Like, you have to see crazy calves. So significant improvement, and she's very, very happy about it. She has more goals to achieve. which he did mention.
What lies ahead for her in the future? Are you going to
So-
continue training her?
Yes, we will do it. I don't know. There is no specific timeline which we have spoken about, but I said, yeah, we'll continue to do it as long as you come into the gym. She's taken.
I think one challenge is to get the results, and the another one is to prove that these results are actually sustainable. Because a lot of people will now question the veracity of the whole, doing everything in a 3 months period. I mean, it happens with me for sure.
Yes.
But
There's been enough research also on this particular topic. Like people who have gone through a significant transformation, they have put back all the weight after a year or 2 years or 3 years.
Yeah.
So I would like to take this as a challenge.
Yeah.
And after 1 year, I'm gonna still share her parameters, her changes, and let's see if she's putting back or not putting back.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good challenge for us.
For sure. I mean, all of my existing people who have trained, they have usually either become coaches or they have maintained their transformation. You talk about Khadija. I trained her in 2015, Ali, Ankit. So many of those guys, they've still, in fact, most of them, they've either become coaches or they've started their own businesses. And more recently, Nosar, I think I trained him in December, I trained him last. He's still shredded after 6 months. Jamie, I trained in March. She's still shredded and looking even better, right? So I don't have any doubts that Deepak will gain all the weight back. In fact, I'm going to continue training him till he achieves 70 kgs. We'll take it slow for sure, but 70 kgs is the next target for him. Coming to,
Deepak. So one thing I want to mention, I saw your post today, Deepak's transformation. Crazy. I was like, dude, he had like all the double chin, the t-shirt was like, the belly was this much. I don't know. Now he's like completely a changed person. So sure, talk about his transformation. More interested.
Okay, so before somebody thinks that this was incredibly difficult, I want to make sure that everybody walks away with the message that it was actually super easy. So this notion that we did some sort of crazy dieting, crash dieting, did like endless hours of cardio or working out 2 hours in the gym. I want you guys to go ahead and watch all the videos right from week 1 in the series. I had mentioned everything very clearly. Week on week, we had made some predictions. Most of the predictions are 90-95% correct, bearing a few exceptions. His transformation, in his own words, and we have taken his interview and everything, and he'll tell you himself that it was actually super easy. Okay, he was getting the meals from Pौष्टिक guys.
Yes.
Yeah, so 2,000 calories right from the beginning. Even now he's on 2,000 calories. There are a lot of questions, but before we get into the question side of things, I would like to mention where we started and where he is today. So as of today, this morning, his weight is 102.1 kg, 102 kgs. He started with 126 with me. When he came for the audition, he was 130.
130.
When he landed in Pune, he was 128. Unfortunately, we didn't take the weight. We took the weight on 2nd of March. That's when his weight was 126. That's when he started with me. And as of today, his weight is 102 kgs. So he's lost 24 kgs, just like everything which is documented. 24 kgs in a matter of last 3 months. His triglycerides were 475. They have come down to 75. His HDL was super low, which was 31. So it's gone up to 45. Then his cholesterol was 169. It has come down to 116 something. His testosterone levels were 185.
Okay.
And they have gone up to 312. So it's a significant increase of almost 70-80%.
Significant.
And we did not take whey protein, we did not take any supplements. His vitamin D levels, as you'd seen in my last video, they were on the lower side. It was around 8 ng per ml last time, and now they have gone up actually, instead of coming down, 11 something. 11. But I think that still needs careful monitoring, because ideally it should be 30 and above. So we'll put him on some vitamin D supplementation. But besides this, I think every other parameter, his fasting blood glucose has come down from 130 to... Yeah, his fasting blood glucose has come down from 130 to now almost 78, 79.
Significant.
And his HbA1c, the most important parameter, has come down from 12.7 to 6. And his doctor himself is surprised. I'm going to have a video call with him today. But he has sent a message. He's incredibly proud of what Deepak has achieved. His family was here yesterday, and everybody got super emotional.
बाप रे एकदम पप्पा किती असं कसं झालं किती ओळखले की पप्पा ओळखते पण थोडं डिफरंट दिसतं नी
He's saying, I'm able to recognize him, but he's looking different.
डिफरंट
His kids were shocked to see him after a long time.
Oh, so they did not see the whole.
They did, but the
It was in between.
yeah, when you see it on video, it's different. But when you see him, so he was surprised. He was surprised to see him, and then like I thought the first reaction would be he'll get emotional. The first reaction was he was surprised because there's dramatic change, you know. So he has changed dramatically. I think it was a very emotional moment because he hadn't seen his family. I mean, unlike Sapna is staying with her family, but he wasn't staying with his family. And I love this guy. He's so amazing, such an incredible, dedicated guy. I'll probably put up my entire WhatsApp chat for anybody to go through and understand how a dedicated, honorable man, you know, man who sticks to his words, follows everything. He traveled in between. He had some conferences to attend. He did not cheat. He followed the same routine. Yesterday, he went out with his family. He took his own lunch. So discipline, and he had a reason to do it. You know, in his family, I think everybody is fit. His dad is 87, incredibly fit. He also came yesterday, and he was super proud of what he was able to achieve. His heart rate has improved. His heart has become stronger now.
That's a good thing.
Yes. His friends are all celebrating his success. He has a brother, I think, in Pune, Army Wing Commander. He also came and he told me, JC, this is like amazing, miracle. But I feel like this was a good series. It just came out of one simple comment that JC trains celebrities, you guys train celebrities, you should train common guys.
Common guys.
And we picked out random two people.
But I have to say, JC, Deepak's transformation is mind blowing. Actually, I was like, oh wow, this is really something. I mean, 24 kgs is like crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, and it's visible from the person. Yeah,
He's very happy. He's feeling incredibly healthier because his resting heart rate, if you see, resting heart rate has also come down. His HRV has gone up by 10 points. So in just 3 months period, and because I have gone through similar kind of metamorphosis when I was training for Muay Thai in Phuket last year, 4 months there, it felt like I've added like 5 additional younger years to my life. So I knew that something like this is possible. So if you look at his HRV, if you look at his resting heart rate, I can comfortably say that in the last 3 months, all the blood parameters and everything, he's definitely added 5 to 10 years to his life.
absolutely agree with that. Yeah, with the change in blood parameters, definitely.
Yeah. So now there are some questions which people have asked. What about the rate of weight loss, right? So people need to understand that guidelines are not rules. Rules are not laws. Okay. So guidelines are good guidelines. It's a good guideline for somebody who does not understand what they're doing. Rules are there to make sure that people follow the rules, but laws are like punishable, right? You break the rule, maybe minor punishment, maybe a pat on the back, but you break the laws, it's bad for you. So all this that you should lose 2 kgs in a month, 4 kgs in a month, these are good guidelines. I do not encourage somebody to do this kind of dramatic transformation on their own. But if you see right from week 1, we had discussed this internally, and Bala asked me, JC, what's the rationale for going so aggressive on the weight loss? I think the guy was already on a very heavy side. The guy was at a very high risk.
Yeah,
He was a ticking time bomb.
I mentioned. Yeah, it makes sense for anyone at that level to
Yes.
do a significant transformation right away, so that
Yes.
you bring your blood parameters and everything
Yes.
within guidelines.
Yes. And I wanted to make sure that when he's walking out of this transformation program, he's healthy. You know, so he was an at-risk individual. Now he's a not at-risk individual.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why we went ahead with this dramatic transformation. But other concerns like loose skin and everything, so we took extreme measures to make sure that none of those things happen. So we cut down all the cardio. There was zero cardio. It was all about leisure walks. It was all about having sufficient amount of protein, sufficient amount of water, and only doing resistance training. No cardio whatsoever. So, and if you see, there was no crash diet because he was throughout the entire period, he was on 2000 calories, around 130 grams of protein, 250 grams of carbs, and 60 to 70 grams of fats. Right. So, and we didn't use any CGM monitors. I've told people that it's nonsense. You really don't need to cut down your carbs if you have diabetes or something. They're like universal myths. So I think this was a very, very healthy transformation. It was made healthy because we were monitoring him constantly. I was seeing him every single day in the gym. I was checking his weight every single day. I was asking him to measure his blood glucose every now and then. I was constantly in touch with his doctor who was reducing his metformin dosage.
Yeah.
And so his HbA1c is now 6.
6.
The minute they are around 5.6, 5.7, he does not need to take HbA1c anymore. Which is, and I'm going to continue training him till he achieves his final goal of 70 kgs.
Fantastic.
Yeah. A few other questions. If somebody doubts the transformation or somebody thinks that these results are not possible, which by the way happens, I think this is the curse. This is our curse. We produce results after results, but people simply fail to believe that this is even possible.
Yeah, I mean, still, I still keep getting some messages where people say that ये तो पक्का steroids लिया है.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or which Photoshop app do you use
Photoshop,
for?
nowadays people comment AI.
Yeah. So, but time and again we keep doing the same thing. The people who are getting results are living proof of what we are able to generate. But again, I would like to really appreciate people who are actually putting efforts and getting those results. So if you have the dedication and the will to change, obviously you can change. I mean, and there are people to help at any point of time.
Yeah, and I hope with this transformation, both Sapna's transformation and Deepak's transformation, some of the most common myths about like keto, low carb, high carb, all of that bullshit is now out of the picture. Another thing was about testosterone. His testosterone levels were quite low, but if you look at the results, I mean, he's 80-90% up, 70-80% up, right? So I think another myth was that you have to take Shilajit and Ashwagandha or Tonkatali.
Superfoods.
No such thing exists. No such thing exists. Like I said before, we did not take a single supplement, not even a pre-workout, no caffeine, no whey. And the reason for that was because I wanted it to be more challenging, more harder. And even though in the past I've trained people who have lost a good 50-60 kgs, Khadija, Ali, many other folks, but I think this was one of the fastest transformation when you do a time to time, because Khadija took 18 months, Ali took almost 9.5 months, but in a 3 months timeline,
3 months, this is
24 kgs was one of my best experiment, I would say. And the fact that we made it extremely simple, I was like, we didn't have to cut down on calories, which is also one thing I wanted to prove to people. We just modified the steps. One more doubt some people have is, how is it possible? The math isn't adding up. Like, how did he manage to lose 24 kgs? Because for 1 kg of fat loss, he needs to be in a deficit of about 7,000 calories, right? So that basically puts us, so people need to understand that he was not very high in his caloric intake. See, for a guy like him, the TD must have been around 3,000 plus.
Plus, arams. So for his body weight, it's definitely more than 3,000.
So for him, he was put on 2,000 calories, which was slightly above his BMR, right from the get-go.
Significant deficit.
Yeah, so it was a significant deficit, but like I have told you, he was an at-risk person. Everything was super high in his case. And so I wanted to make sure that before he leaves me, he becomes a low-risk person. And
I think after this response, a lot of people will question this, that, significant deficit will make a person lose muscle.
So I want to clarify that. He gained muscles. Okay, this is again a myth that you can't gain muscles in deficit. I mean, we do it all the time. We do it all the time.
Quite a lot of factors. Yes. He was at a very high body fat percentage. It is absolutely possible for anyone to put on muscle, even at a deficit.
Yes.
One of the things I also want to mention is, there was no supplements in Deepak's case. In Sapna's case, we have whey. Whey protein was there as a part of the diet, but apart from that, there were no other supplements. And the other thing is...
And because she was vegetarian?
No, she's a non-vegetarian, but
Okay.
it was just convenient for her to,
Okay,
just get
makes
a scoop
sense.
after the workout. So,
Okay.
great. The other thing is, one of the person has messaged me asking, what's the body weight loss in Sapna's case? So, despite Sapna losing 5.6 inches in the waist, she has lost about 9 kgs
Yeah,
in
that's
the body
incredible.
weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Not bad. And but when you put the numbers, I mean, it's not just 9 kgs of fat loss. There's been a more fat loss because she has added significant amount of muscle. So some amount of compensation is happening.
And she gained muscles in deficit, right? So again,
Yeah.
which proves the point that body composition happens all the time. It's difficult, but it's possible. Same like losing 24 kgs in a matter of 3 months. It's difficult, but it's possible.
A lot of parameters changed. Like her protein intake was low, now the protein intake is high.
Exactly.
There was not enough training volume earlier. Now the
Yes.
training volume has come in. There was significant changes in her lifestyle, which has obviously
Yes.
put her in a situation where she can add muscles despite being in deficit.
So yeah, that was us. That was everything from our side. There's not going to be any future episodes. I'm feeling sad. Deepak is feeling sad because he's gonna leave soon.
Sapna is
And
here, so she's
Sapna
okay.
is here. She can come and train with you. But I've told Deepak to keep coming once in a while. I'll keep training him online for the next few years, maybe till he reaches 70, because I want to see him. I want to see through the whole thing. Don't leave him halfway. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. This was a fun series. Train with JC and Bala will return.
Yes.
We don't know when, but most probably. I think I'm gonna do another transformation collab with one of these famous guys. Most probably. There are some talks happening, and let's see what happens. So for the next 6 months, I won't be training anybody else, but that 1% or 2% will reveal in a few days. But I think train with JC and Bala for everybody else will return probably next year. Thank you for being such an amazing, incredible audience, watching patiently, learning from it, and witness that this was not fake or non-transparent. I mean, out there, guys who haven't watched the series, they probably believe that it was fake, but you guys have watched it. So we are glad that at least you know our truth, you know what Deepak and Sapna went through and what are the results. That's all we care about. So thank you so much once again. And signing off,
Thank you so
JC
much.
and Bala here. Bye-bye.
See you.